Hi guys, in today's video we're going to take a look at some acoustic foam sound treatment panels that would be great in a room such as this where I play drums all the time. It's a tiny box and so treatment is good. I have some treatment up now, but it's not the best. And we're going to check this out. I just got this box in mail from this company named Guerri, G-U-E-R-R-I. And full disclosure, they sent this to me for free, but they are not paying me for this review. Also, just a side note, this book is still coming out, Field Guide to 50 Drum Rudiments. We need to do a little bit more tweaking to make sure that it's not full of stupid little errors, which you'll appreciate in the end. Alright, so let's check out these acoustic panels. So these guys came in this very nondescript box. There's no logos on it or anything, so let's just get into it. I could use a tool, but why? So what we have here is a packing slip that says soundproof foam panels 12 by 12 by 2. It's a 36 pack of soundproofing padding for walls and ceilings. And that's it. That's all it really says. A bunch of numbers and stuff on there. There's a little bit of paper, which is funny because this is made out of foam. So I don't know what they were trying to protect, but I'm sure that was Amazon that shipped it that way. What do they know? And so there are apparently supposed to be 36 panels in this. That's incredible. That I would not have guessed they could pack them that small. So obviously I think this is vacuum sealed, otherwise this wouldn't make any sense. There are directions on the front of the package. It says there is polyurethane sponge in here of a density of 25 kilograms per cubic meter, CBM. I don't know what that stands for. It is fire retardant class B1, which I also don't know what that means. And they are 12 by 12 by 2 as the packing list had said. So, it says to fast expand them. We are going to open the package and we're going to let it stand for 24 to 48 hours. Cool. I don't really have that kind of time. So method 2, heated with a hairdryer to heat up expansion. Method 3, submerge in water for 3 to 5 minutes and wring or heat dry. We'll get back to that later. The installation steps are listed. You open the package, clean the wall, attach the panels with double tape or spray adhesive. Tape and spray adhesive is not included, so I'm going to have to figure out how to mount these things myself, and that's not really that helpful. Install the panel onto the wall. Okay, you take off the bag, and inside they're in bags. Okay, I'm going to need a tool. Tool located. Try to get in here without damaging anything. Oh, ow, punched myself. Okay, so inside of the bag is another bag. And inside of that, 2 other bags inside of the bag. And if we open that up, inside of each of the bags, inside of the bag, inside of the bag. So 3 layers of bags inside the box. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 panels in this bag. So if we want to look at them, we can see they have the characteristic sort of triangular profile, bumpy foam stuff that you would expect from an acoustic foam panel. Okay, so I got them all open. They're all the same thing, which I think makes sense. Try not to cut my fingers off on that. Let's see how many we really got. So we got 1. Wait, we got to do this in an organized way. We definitely do have 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 there. Then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 there, which is 24. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 there. That sounds like 36. So 36 of these guys is not enough to cover any given wall of this room. Every single surface in here is more than 36 square feet, and there are obviously a bunch of walls because it's an enclosed room. That would make sense. So, but the point though is that you really don't want to do that. When you buy this stuff, it is not to coat an entire room. I have practiced or like rehearsed with a band in a room that was 100% coated in something like this. I don't know if it was exactly like Oralex or what it was, but like every wall, even the backs of all the doors, there were no windows, the ceiling was covered, and it had thick carpeting on the floor. That was awful because you couldn't hear anything. It was not quite an anechoic chamber, but almost. I mean, like if you faced towards, say, a horn player playing at you, you could hear them fine, but if you faced away, they suddenly like just disappeared from the mix. And so you ended up, everybody kept turning up louder and louder to try to hear each other, which is not ideal. And then what this is also not for is soundproofing. Now it says soundproofing on the package. That is not what this is for in the slightest. If you cover the entire room in it, like I had that rehearsal space, and you go outside of that room, it's still incredibly loud. It doesn't do anything because that's not what this is for. They do not make this to soundproof. Soundproofing is for the people outside of the room. Sound treatment is for the people in the room. You do want some of this because if you just have a room which is a box, which is what this room is, it's like 8 by 14, it's completely 90-degree angles on every side. You will get really obnoxious reflections. You can probably see by my drum set here, I've put up this foam, which is not as good as this black stuff that I just got. I'm certain of it. I don't even have to check, although we could do a test. But this stuff helps keep these cymbals, which are directly next to a wall, from just reflecting right back at my face really obnoxiously. They don't do anything for the room that's on the other side of this wall. And the other thing is, like, I have a window on the other side, and you can see that glass is very reflective. So if I just had drywall on one side and glass on the other, the sound would just keep bouncing back and forth between the drum kit and the two walls, and my head is in the middle of that, and that's awful. So you get something like this, or the yellow stuff over there, and you dampen some of the reflections. Obviously, I'm not going to cover a window in this stuff. That'd be crazy. But what you want to do is dampen some of the reflections, because reflections are good in a sense. You want to hear what you've played, and you want it to kind of have some reverb in the space. That's natural sounding. But you don't want continuous feedback of reverb going in every direction and coming back forever. So I think I will set up a test where I'm going to use like a blank wall, and I'm going to play a percussion instrument of some sort against it and record back what it sounds like. Then I'm going to play in front of these yellow things, which is what I was using before, and then I'm going to play in front of a wall covered in these black things, and we're going to see if these or anything makes an appreciable difference in the recorded back sound. I think that would be a worthwhile thing to do. So here's what I've decided we're going to do. I got this off the wall. It's just mounted to a piece of cardboard. I didn't really want to glue these to the wall because I knew these were never the final solution. And what I'm going to do is we're going to play an instrument and we're going to face a mic towards this door, which for our purposes is basically as flat and reflective as anything else that we could find. And so I'm going to put, like, I think a snare drum right here, and I'm going to play facing that way. I'm going to have a mic right next to the snare drum, but facing away from it. So we're mostly going to catch the reflections that are coming back off the door, not close miking the drum itself. Now, what we're going to do is play against the door once, then we're going to play against this yellow, whatever this foam, it's like packing foam. I think some of the pieces down here, you can kind of see this one. That's actually studio foam, some other brand, but most of this isn't. So anyway, but what I'm going to do also to test how hard these are to mount, I found this 3M spray mount artist adhesive in my garage. I can guarantee you, I bet anything on it, I did not buy this. I think this came with our house. It was just in the garage when we moved in 7 years ago. So we're going to see if this will mount this on the back of this so that we can flip it around, and we've got two identical sized pieces of stuff that we can place in the same spot to test the difference. So this will be the test setup. I've got the door here, and I've got this thing, and so I'm going to do the black foam, which the spray did work. They're sticking to cardboard, so at least there's that. And then I'm going to turn it around where there's the yellow foam, and then I'm going to take it away, of course, to just do the door. You can see I have some Rode NT5 pencil condensers close to the door, pointing at the door, not at the sound source, which is going to be a snare drum, which I have back here. And I might adjust how far back this goes because I really want to hear more of the reflection than the drum itself. But, so you can see, this is going to be in stereo at about the width of a human head, so like you're standing here listening. Okay guys, you heard the sound demo. You can tell, I think as well as I can, that these do make a difference versus the plain door. There may be a subtle difference versus some foam that is not meant for this purpose. But I think, I mean, you could hang a blanket, you could hang pieces of carpeting. Anything soft would do something. These are meant for it, and they're, I mean, they don't look obnoxious. This makes your studio look pro if you have something like this, which is worth something. They do what they're supposed to do. They do cut down on those high-level reflections, the high-frequency annoying reverb that you would otherwise get off of a hard door or drywall or some other surface. So what a lot of people do is, you know, you do one wall of this and you have a wall that's actually reflective, or you would checkerboard this so there was some reflection and some absorption on any given wall. And a lot of people build like diffusers and reflectors out of plywood and stuff so that their room is not completely dead, because as we discussed earlier, that's horrendous. But also a room with no treatment is horrendous. And again, this doesn't do anything for your neighbors. I wouldn't buy it for soundproofing. But it does something for you if you play drums or electric guitar or something that is loud in a interior space, that you're going to want something. These also are not bass traps, I'll just say that, but they do help with that high frequency reflection. I have a link below where you can get these if they appeal to you. And also this book is going to come out sometime in the next month, I would say. A field guide to 50 drum rudiments, so stay tuned for that. I'll have more videos about it, but it is coming. I just want it to actually be correct and good when it comes out. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.